Hi, hello, and welcome to the long-awaited, overdue, finally in the woods to do the latest walking review. Let's go. Let's go. I just finished, well, I didn't just finish, I finished like a week ago. The Feud, the Hatfield and McCoys by Dean King, released in, I didn't get a date, but the date here. It took me 15 days to read it. I read it like as a novel, instead of trying to do like read it as history. No, what I'm trying to say here, I read it as a novel and not trying to like take notes or study it, if that makes sense. It reads a lot better as a novel, in my opinion, or read better as a novel. Anyway, I'm rambling here. So the book's 430 pages, and about 75% of it is the book, and the other 25% of it is sources and notes and stuff. So that was nice. And yeah, where do we start? I enjoyed it. Who even are the Hatfields and McCoys? Well, they're a set of families that were from the Kentucky-Virginia border, which eventually broke off. Oh, hold on. Someone's coming. Thought it would be less buggy because it's 60-something degrees, but here we are, back on it. Let's see, when did the feud start? Officially started after the Civil War. The Hatfields were Union, the McCoys were Confederates. Household of the McCoys was ran by Randall, and the Hatfields was Devil Anse Hatfield. He ended up getting really wealthy. It's crazy, just back in those days, the government just gave them land. And they're like, hey, this is ours. They said this is ours. And the government was like, well, okay. So it's cool. They all had a ton of kids. And the kids all intermingled. The Hatfields married the McCoys. And the McCoys married the Hatfields. But they all were beefing. What was the feud even started over? Civil War, I think. Because one part says it's the Civil War. Another one said it's a mixed up hog that Devil Ant stole from Randall, and he kept the grudge forever. Let's see what else. This got a lot of press back in the day, so it kind of lent to the feud and the aura, the mystique, and these two backwoods yokel families from the Appalachians going at each other. And it was based along the Tug River, and I'll put a map here because I didn't know where that was. And I also didn't know, which I should have known, right? But Virginia was split off into West Virginia due to the Civil War and slavery, of course. So that's how West Virginia popped up. But yeah, these guys the McCoys lived in Kentucky, I want to say. See, I'm forgetting all this stuff. And the Hatfields were up in West Virginia. And they would cross the Tug River and do their crimes and then go back. And it's like, oh, well, you can't get me in trouble in Kentucky because I'm not in Kentucky. And that's how they... It ended up going to the Supreme Court at one point. And they got bounty hunters involved. I'm going all over the place. But I got a lot of notes. The feud started with muskets and ended with the 76 Winchester. I'll put a picture of it here. And there's another gun, the Colt Peacemaker, the gun that won the West. I'll put that in here too. So yeah, there's lots of old-timey guns, but old-timey guns will still take you out. What else are my notes? The book does a good job of describing the Appalachians, which is, I've never visited that part. My dad probably has some stories. His wife was from that backwoods, the crazy West Virginia. I'm sure he's got stories. But yeah, you forget about how isolated and not out of touch, but out of touch those places are. Oh, we don't want to walk here. This is Tick. Let's go. Tick and Flea Central here. Let's go. So I think I'm rambling. What are my notes? The McCoys are Irish, Scots-Irish. Hatfields were English. The McCoys also were found to have, and I put it in my notes here. Come here. Come here. Where is it? She's ready to go. Okay, hold. Oh, Daniel Boone was mentioned in here at one point. It's nice to see a cameo. Joseph Hatfield was one of the ablest scouts in the Western frontier. Let me flip my pages here. They were logging industry up in the Virginia and Kentucky area. They would cut down the trees, and they actually branded them kind of like they do with cattle, which I did not know that was a thing. And branded them with irons or hammers so that the lumberjacks could be registered in a courthouse. Cool trivia. Historians officially start the day of the feud Monday, August 7th, 1882. And the McCoys, the Irish, suffer from a hereditary condition known as von Hippel-Landau, which has issues with their adrenal glands that cause excessive production of adrenaline and catecholamines, substances that trigger warrior or flight reactions to friends or foes alike. That Irish temper, huh? In their genes. It's a tumor in their brain. So. I don't even know. I got so many notes, but I don't know. There was a lot in this story, and it was well written. It's very well researched. I like the story of the bounty hunters, and it's just spite. Just decades of spite. Killing each other and their families, and just holding on to it. One thing would happen, and then they would sit on it for 6 years, and then they would go do retribution. But good book. Quick read for a normal reader. This guy ain't a normal reader. 4 stars. If I have anything else, I'll add it to the end. All right, thanks for listening. Okay, bye. In my notes, the old phrase I'm sure you heard, "What in the Sam Hill?" That was actually a real person. He was the state's adjutant general that went to investigate the border war and the feud. But yeah, the government got involved at this at one point. Just this family going at each other. They would send the guard in, the militia. Well, not the guard, but they would send a militia. And then they would start feuding when the militia showed up. So now they're all just hanging out. And there was a Hatfield elected as the governor of, I want to say, West Virginia. See, I'm forgetting it. Of course, I didn't write it down. But the feud is officially over. I forgot to add this. The feud is officially over. After 9/11, they decided no more fighting. We got bigger fights to fight. And they put everything aside, and I think they're still doing all right. And anything else? I took so many notes. Pike County is where most of this happened. And I think that's it.